All right, this is Hammerhead Sports Production, and I am experimenting with Zoom for my new interview series. Well, not new series, but continuation. And I'm here with my buddy Sal once again. You got anything to say, Sal?
No, I'm chilling right now.
Notice, do not block this gate. I don't see any gates.
Franny, you don't gotta worry about that. You don't gotta worry about that.
What did I? What is that supposed to mean? Something different?
No, it's just I pulled it off of a gate, so I put it in my wall. Oh, I also have a hole in my wall, so that's probably shouldn't be seen.
You just. Oh God. I don't want to know. Best if I don't know. The less I know, the better.
All right.
So, what are your thoughts of Super Bowl 55?
Great game. I kind of predicted it though. Not gonna lie. I said if the Chiefs O line cannot block that D line, that front seven, it was gonna end like that, and it did. So
I agree. I posted it on my YouTube channel. I had the Bucks and Buccaneers winning. I said they had to run the ball. They ran the ball. They clog up the passing lanes. That they were going to win. Well, they didn't really do a good job of clogging the passing lanes, but that was kind
no,
of like
they did. No, they
prevent
did.
defense.
No, I mean they were able to just hold Mahomes to like very like not Mahomes level yardage or
Well,
even
they
like
he had threw for two. He threw for 250.
that's not like Mahomes though. Last time they played, he threw for 450, I believe, and that was a crazy good game for him. And I
So
mean, this
nowadays, 250 isn't enough.
apparently not. I mean, with that Bucks defense, I mean, they shut that whole offense down. I mean, you had Kelsey who was their leading receiver, I believe, and Hill was held to under 100, probably maybe under 50. I didn't check the stats, but he definitely was under what was expected.
Yeah, actually, no.
Yeah,
I think he got 67.
was it? I wasn't. I didn't check the stats. I'm doing that.
Um,
Kelsey had 133 and Hill had 73. So not what you'd expect,
okay.
but I mean, solid numbers. Just finishing the drives was not their strong suit this game.
Yeah. Do you think there's been a lot of talk about there maybe being a double standard with how the game was called with the refs, and Patrick Mahomes' mother even has blasted out the refs. I don't know what they're actually talking about. I thought it was a fairly refed game, unless
Uh,
I guess there was something that had to do with Teron Matthew before halftime. I didn't even see it because I went to go and get a drink.
right. Yeah. So penalties, there was like a ton. I think it was 10, maybe 11 on the Chiefs, and it was like two to the Bucks. It was
They had a total of three, but adding on one more, but with 2 minutes to go left in the game.
yeah,
So
ref.
really, they had three.
Yeah. It was all mental mistakes for the Chiefs. I mean, offsides, holding, the pass interference calls. It was that defense couldn't. They couldn't stop making penalties. It was poor, poor sportsmanship by the Chiefs. I think.
They think they're just kind of being a little bit of a babies who just like lost their milk or something.
It did seem like that. It did seem a little bit out of control at the end of the game, or no, during the whole game. It was just out of control with the penalties.
I actually saw at one point Breland and Tyreek were jawing at each other, and I said, "All right, the game's over. They're gonna win this because if they're doing that, then they're in their heads. This game's over." And I
That's
was
right.
right. They lost the game. It all comes
Yeah.
down to mental toughness. Um, let's see what. Do you got anything? Do you got any questions like you feel like would want to like debate about?
Um. No. No. I don't have any really. I don't have any issues with the game. I think it was a solid, fair game. I mean, penalties were crazy, but that was just mental mistakes. The Bucks played great on offense. They, almost perfect every time they drove down the field after the first two possessions. I think they had one other punt. Um, that was just great offense by the Bucks, great defense by the Bucks, all around great game for them. Um, Chiefs just couldn't finish the drives. That was major problem in the blocking, and then
Oh
drops.
yeah, he was running for his life. I mean, Sue, Pierre Paul, and Shaq Barrett, they were just running them over.
Don't forget about Vita Vea. That guy went. He was
Oh
that
yeah,
man.
Vita Vea.
That man's quick for a guy that size, and I mean he was getting through the line just as well as everyone else.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you saw that roughing the passer call
On who?
of when against the Bucks
Oh, I think it was
when he got sandwiched.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know. It was.
I wouldn't have thrown the flag. I thought it was pretty darn close.
I mean, I think JPP was already on the ground, so he was just there, and then the push maybe made him fall. But I don't think it was. I don't think it should have been passing. Not passing. Roughing the passer.
I agree. I think we're turning into pussyfoots.
a little bit. I mean, I think it could have gone either way. It just depends on how the refs saw it. So,
Yeah, but the refs are starting to turn into bigger idiots as the year by every year.
Not gonna disagree with that.
I mean, did you ever see that? Did you see that roughing the passer call in Cleveland, New York?
No, I don't think I watched that game.
Yeah, I think the guy went. The guy basically put his arms out like an airplane, and his face mask clanked Baker Mayfield's face mask, and they called that roughing the passer. He didn't drive him into the ground. He didn't push him. All he did was clank their face masks, and he walked away from him.
I mean, if it's hitting his face mask, it's head to head.
But it wasn't like ba-boom. It was like clank. It was as he was walking by him after the play was even over. It was like a brush.
Right. I don't know. It's definitely becoming a more soft league, but it's still pretty big hits. I was seeing some major hits last night with those safeties on the Bucks coming down.
Yeah, because at least the safeties are still allowed to be football players.
Yeah, agreed.
I can't wait for the what?
And those linebackers also, Devin White, Levante David, just those crazy guys.
Oh hell yeah!
Shutting everything down. I mean, Chiefs were able to run it really well, surprisingly. But even with that, didn't help much. I mean, yeah, it was a good game, but can't win them all.
Yeah, you can't win them all. What else? So one other I wanted to talk free agents for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3 guys that are going to be on the offense. Rob Gronkowski is going to be a free agent. Antonio Brown's going to be a free agent, and Chris Godwin. Gronk has already stated that he's going to come back. He's not retiring. I imagine he's going to take a discount. I can see that already happening. But does Antonio Brown or Chris Godwin or one of those guys take a pay cut and come back next year? Or do they want to go and get their money now that they've got their ring?
I don't know. With AB, I could see him definitely going for the money. And same with Godwin. Honestly, I think with his talent, he wants to be the number 1 guy. He wants to get the targets, wants to get the catches. And with Mike Evans, I can't see that happening in Tampa.
No, good. Mike Evans is still under contract. It's just Godwin and Antonio.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I'm saying with Godwin, it's going to be more. He's going to want the targets rather than being guy on a different team. I could see that. So I would say he's gone, but there's still a good chance he takes a cut. I wouldn't keep it against him to take a cut. I mean, if they're going for another ring,
me too. I think they should keep the band together for at least one more year. I think they got at least one more year. Keep those guys together. Go back, win one more Super Bowl. You win back-to-back Super Bowls. You're immortal. No matter what you do afterwards, people won't think about that. They'll think about the Super Bowls.
Absolutely.
Are you going to be watching the XFL when it starts up?
When is that starting up? I haven't heard much.
When is the XFL starting up? XFL 2021 schedule. The XFL, which was acquired over the summer by Dwayne Johnson, Danny Garcia, says it will not play in 21. Oh. I actually did not know this. So they're not playing. They're not coming back in 2021. They'll come back in 2022. I guess it's just so they can get everything reorganized after. But in 2022, will you watch the XFL?
Yeah, no doubt. I'll definitely watch some extra football during the off season.
Do you think this startup league has a chance after what we saw from it in its first 6 weeks?
I mean, it was entertaining to watch, so I wouldn't disagree with that. I'd love to see some extra football, no doubt. I mean, it was rough for them with the once COVID hit, there was nothing to do. They couldn't stop anything. It was just a bunch of unfortunate events. It ended abruptly.
It's like it's like whatever could have gone wrong. Of all the things Vince McMahon could prepare for, it had to be a freaking pandemic.
Yeah, I know, honestly.
I was enjoying myself. I liked it because it actually felt like football, for crying out loud. You didn't have stupid refs. You actually had cohesion. You had real names. You had fun. Unlike the no fun league.
And have you heard about that fan controlled football league?
Yeah, you know Johnny Manziel's in it.
I did know that. It's gonna be to watch.
I know I can't. If it's gonna be on television, I'll watch it.
Absolutely, I will. I mean,
because I want to see how the hell this is gonna be run.
Yeah, I've heard good things about like the structure of it. You know, I feel like it's gonna be a good time to watch.
Well, that's good. Who the hell knows? Maybe Johnny Manziel finally pulls the rabbit out of the hat.
I hope so. The guy, if he can keep his partying habits at bay, he'll find a way. Because in college, just couldn't translate with the partying and stuff. You know.
Oh hell yeah! But there was some other forces that. Yeah, it was him all the way.
Brown's problem. You know.
Yeah, Brown's problem. They definitely weren't strict enough with him, but he didn't help anybody by going on a party during their bye week, and then when he was ruled out, he went partying again.
Of course it was.
It's just unbelievable. Kind of the lack of focus and dedication that guy had, even after everything he did at Texas A&M.
Did he win the Heisman, or was he like a runner-up?
No, he won the Heisman his freshman year.
About so. I don't know. It's been a while for me since the college ball, you know.
I actually don't even watch college football anymore because I can't stand it. I can't because it's no fun because you already know who's going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I'm even going to make a video about that very soon. I mean, my other fellow YouTubers, I think it was Cole Adams did a video on it, and my buddy KTO. Well, we're not buddies yet, but I hope to be buddies with him. KTO. It's just they're going to give Alabama the benefit of the doubt. They're going to give Clemson the benefit of the doubt, and the same for Ohio. And what's that fourth school that's always in? I think it's Notre Dame. Yeah. They'll always give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, freaking Cincinnati went 9-0, and they didn't even make the playoffs. While Ohio State, who only won 6 games, made the playoffs.
What was that other team? Coastal Carolina. They were also going off the entire year. They went, I think 12, 13-0 or something like that. I think I heard something about that. I don't know. Man.
Stick your playoff football up your ass.
Honestly, yeah.
All right, 2 more questions, and then I'll let you get back to being Sal Fazio.
Yes, sir.
At this point, do you see Brady playing until age 50?
I don't know. I can't say that yet. It depends. He's only 43 right now. I say only, but
But I mean, he's not supposed to be doing this at 43 either. I mean, he's not supposed to be doing this.
I know. I mean,
I mean, God, he's
at 43, a seventh Super Bowl, that's crazy. Just the seventh Super Bowl in general, that's crazy. But at 43, give the man credit at this point. I think undisputed GOAT, no doubt.
but can you see him play until 45 at least?
I could see 45. I mean, with how he's playing right now, he's still playing at a really good level.
So a good level, good offensive line,
Agreed.
45, like 80%. You believe in it?
Yeah, I go 80-20. I think there's a good chance he will, but I mean, I'm not gonna rule out his retirement. I mean, he's on a 2-year deal. He's got 1 more year, right? On this.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna re-sign him. It's more or less gonna be like a 4-year deal because they'll re-sign him to another 2-year contract and everything.
I mean, I could see 50, but it really depends on the next 2 years. So I would wait till.
Good points. Good points all across the board. Now, this question you might get mad at me for it, and
we'll see.
There is one last guy that Brady does need to pass.
Drew Brees.
Otto Graham.
Really? What are you talking about?
Otto Graham played 10 years with Paul Brown in the 1940s and 50s. And he played for 10 years. I say 10 years. He went to 10 straight championships, and he won 7 of them. Okay. So he's now Brady has now tied him in terms of championships.
This is pre-Super Bowl era.
Pre-Super Bowl era, yes, but still, that shouldn't take away anything. They shouldn't take away from the fact that they won those 7 championships.
Yeah, but I feel like the difficulty in that era was like much, it was a lower difficulty for that.
I don't know about that. In the 50s and 60s, that's when football was starting to kind of football was starting to like become its own, and more people were going playing it. And like I think at that time there was only like 18 teams, so the talent pool was even tougher. So you had to have been really, really good to be playing it in pro football at that time. So in my opinion, the talent pool was at a higher level, and at that time, it's not such a pussyfoot league. You don't have wide receivers getting babied all the time. You could probably punch them in the face, and the refs wouldn't do anything about it. Quarterbacks would get their heads ripped off, and sometimes get their entire mouths ripped off. So that actually happened to Otto Graham. He had like 36 stitches all across his chin and everything. So, I mean, to me, that's like the tougher era to do it. Yes, it's still tough now, and that doesn't take anything away from what Brady's done. I'm just saying, still, we should acknowledge what Graham did.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, to your point, Graham's obviously a great quarterback. 7 championships is, that's great. And I mean, I do understand that, like, with, major injuries with, like, ripping mouths off, that's crazy. But I still think with the difficulty in this league right now, and having to overcome a bunch of other stuff, all the hate that Brady gets, I think I still
unfair hate, very unfair hate.
Absolutely. Yeah, I still see Brady getting that number 1, no doubt.
I want him to as well. I have to do this because you know how big of an NFL history buff in sports buff I am. I want him to pass him. So he's like, okay, nothing. There's not one thing you can bring up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. 8's going to be incredibly hard.
I don't know if they bring back most of the guys that are free agents, and if they just beat the best team, so-called the best team in the league, undisputed best team in the league, who the hell is going to stop them? Breeze is on his last leg. The Panthers are going to be maybe better, but I don't think they'll be better than the Bucks next year. And then Atlanta is basically dead in the water. Yeah. They're going to win the division. They're going to win the division.
I have a point for you, though. The Saints, that cap is gone. They are done. I think.
Oh, I know. They never should have signed Michael Jenkins. That a big deal. They never should have signed him to that 4-year, $50 million contract.
They have negative $90 million in cap, right?
I think so. I haven't looked, but
negative $92 million. So they're gonna have to let a bunch of guys go. I could see Thomas, Kamara gone entirely.
I don't know about Kamara. Wait a second. No, they're not going to release Kamara. They'll probably release Jenkins. Wait, they'll release Jenkins. They get rid of Thomas or trade Thomas, and then they get rid of one of their cornerbacks, and they maybe trade Emmanuel Sanders, even though he had a good season.
And what about Cam Jordan?
I don't know. He's now the leader of the locker room. You trade him, you lose the locker room. I feel.
I mean, yeah, but with cap space, I can't see them getting like they have to get rid of so many key pieces. I mean,
maybe, or some guys take a pay cut. I can definitely see Breeze taking a big pay cut. I can see Jordan taking a big pay cut. I can see Kamara taking somewhat of a pay cut, just so they can stay in contention. Because at this point, they want a Super Bowl. They are now called the very, very good team that just can't win it. You think they won't come back driven to just freaking shove it up everyone's ass and go tell the league to go F themselves?
I could see it, but I mean, they Kamara already had that huge contract dispute the first couple weeks in the year. He was holding out of practice and stuff because he didn't get his contract. So what
true, but it was a lesser contract of what Ezekiel Elliott and Todd Gurley signed.
It's still a huge contract, though. I mean,
it is still a huge contract.
It's a huge contract that you have to either cut completely or figure out a way to trade that massive contract to someone else.
But I can't see them trading him just after they went through all that hell just to sign him.
I mean, they have Latavius Murray. He was doing good while Taysom Hill was the quarterback. He was getting solid rushes, and Kamara wouldn't.
True, but he's 31.
True.
He is 31. But that's when you look at a running back declining. So there's no way they just would get rid of Kamara to replace it with Murray. They probably would have to go get a young guy, or they're going to draft somebody and get them under a rookie deal for the next 4 years.
I don't know. That's the Saints cap space is a huge deal, but I don't know. I'm not the GM. I don't know how to fix it indefinitely. But that's a whole other issue that we'll go over, I guess. You know, we're gonna go over that later, I guess.
Okay.
We'll go over that another time when it's farther down the line.
Yeah, but as I said before, if they already beat the so-called best team in the league, there's nobody that can freaking hold a candle to them. Nobody.
I agree. But they did have major implications with the Chiefs O-line being just torn apart, basically losing their 2 tackles and having to shift everything. It completely screwed them up. But I mean,
wait, how'd they lose their 2 tackles?
Eric Fisher tore his Achilles, and they had to move the other tackle. I don't know what happened to the other tackle, but he was out for some reason. So they had to move. They had to move one of their guards, Wiley, I think, to tackle, and then they had to bring Wisniewski in, and they had to move another guard to the other left guard or something like that. So they had to completely change their entire offensive line.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was the main reason that they were. It was trouble because they didn't have their whole line was jumbled up and messed up.
So the only thing I say in defense of that, what about Bills? Don't they have Oliver? They got a stout defense too. They had pass rushers galore as well. They had maybe just as good as a defense.
Yeah, but the only problem with that one is Eric Fisher got hurt in the end of that game against the Bills. So it was yeah, so I mean it the same thing would have happened against the Bills if they had already been dismantled. And that offensive line would have been the same as it was last night. It would have just ended all the same.
Okay, good point.
I mean, it's not gonna. I mean, you can't block if you can't block 4-star D linemen for an entire game. There's no way you can win a game like that. It's I feel like it's impossible.
Good point.
If you look
But
at other teams with terrible offensive lines, like Bengals O line's awful. They killed Joe Burrow. I mean,
yeah, I think he tore the seven. He tore his MCL, CC, whatever LCL you
yeah,
can think of. He tore.
I mean, the offensive line, in my opinion, because I do play that position, is the most important position. I mean, without being able to block some of these major stars, it's impossible to win games without a decent offensive line. And look at the Cowboys again. I mean, they lost Tyron Smith. I think he was either out or he retired.
No, he was out. And then Travis Frederick retired.
And then they had some back. All year they were playing with a terrible offensive line, and that showed with Zeke. Zeke's progression just declined incredibly.
Well, he
It was
still, I think, rushed for 900.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It would have been like at least 1,400 with all the guys he had last year. I mean, yeah, I feel like he could have gotten 1,400 with that offensive line that he had, no doubt. And it just shows you the offensive line is most important. That's all I got to say about that.
All right. Thanks for your time, Sal.
No problem, brother. We will.
Hopefully, I'll be seeing all you guys on the football field and interviewing all the boys.
2 weeks. 2 weeks, Franny.
2 weeks. God help us.
I know. Got 5 games to finish my senior year.
They still giving you Thanksgiving?
Franny, Thanksgiving was like 4 months
ago. Oh God, I am an idiot. People who watch this are now gonna laugh at me for the rest of my life. Oh my God.
Nice job, Franny.
I'm sorry. I'm so used to that. I'm just so used to asking that.
I got you.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You don't tell Yancey. Don't. If you tell Yancey I did that, well, he's gonna watch this video and he'll find out anyway. But don't tell him. I'll never hear the end of it.
Yes, sir. You will not. You will not hear it.
All right. Thanks again, Sal. I'll see you again.
Yes, sir.